Arrivals transfer level. Il vous transfert des arrivées sur gare.
Something from here?
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
travel documents with you as you disembark the aircraft. Remember that smoking is not permitted until you are within a designated smoking area. Country citizens, residents and visitors returning to Doha may proceed to the E-Gate facility for immigration clearance. First-time visitors are required to proceed to the immigration counters for visa processing. If you are unsure of your eligibility,
This is the captain. Cabin crew. Please disarm doors for arrival. Caution.